The way to make money is to sell pickaxes to miners. There are hundreds of thousands of miners on OnlyFans. Today, we are going to look at the pickaxes that you can sell them that are going to improve their business and build you a 7 or 8 figure agency within 12 months.
Can I just say on that? So the OnlyFans is about one-to-one subscription against that person, right? OnlyFans, yes, we know it's full of porn and all the rest of it, but Patreon and other things like that aren't like that. So I think OnlyFans is an example of many things where it is that individual access to content.
But
so just think about
this idea is about pretending to be a creator and sending individual into.
Let's do it. It could be interesting to people. Let's be a little
definitely
bit
be interesting to people. Whether we want to be associated with it's another matter. But Meg, you'll have a good read on this.
And Doug doesn't subscribe, just as a caveat down the bottom.
Well, that's the risk, isn't it? This screams. Doug fucking spends his afternoons on OnlyFans, which I genuinely don't. You know that I've ummed and ahed about bringing this idea. It's a really good idea. It is black and white unethical. It's in a space that there's no ambiguity. This is unethical and it is against the terms of service of the platform. But this could be a massive, successful business. Of that, I have absolutely no doubt. So, are you familiar with OnlyFans?
I have heard about it, yes. I am 100% not a subscriber, but yes.
Rich and I, not subscribers to OnlyFans. Let's make that crystal clear at the start. In fact, Calvin, could you just put a big thing on the screen that says...
Yeah, even though we did just discuss the fact that you only like to use it in the mornings rather than the afternoons.
Yeah, discounts in the mornings apparently on OnlyFans. Now, there is the saying that you make money from selling pickaxes to miners. You know, you don't get out there in the gold mine yourself. I would imagine that OnlyFans is one of those platforms where a few people do really, really well, but a lot of people probably they've gone on there because they think it's an opportunity, but perhaps it isn't. For anyone that doesn't know what OnlyFans is, Rich, do you want to do a little 20-second, just a high level?
So, yeah, fantastic. Right. So this is it started as a one-to-one access to people who you find interesting or that you are a fan of. I remember speaking to a lady in 2011 who wanted to do it for music and bands. So this platform was created to give people access to people who wanted to do content creation, sell that content creation at a monthly subscription. It was absolutely swarmed by content creators that are on the more risque side of life. And that wasn't intentional, but that was what really, really populated the platform.
Really? I actually didn't know that. It was a broader utility was the plan.
Oh, totally.
Really?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But yes, I mean, like I say, this woman that I spoke to must have been maybe 2013. This came out just after that, and she wanted to do it for band fans, music fans, and it was about them, access to Coldplay and access to this. So this idea was coming from many different areas. But what happened was that these content creators, influencers of a certain type or a certain vertical, just started.
What is that vertical, Rich? Just so we're clear for anyone that doesn't know what OnlyFans is.
Pornography.
Yeah, it's like intimate, isn't it? It's kind of videos, pictures, that kind of vibe. A lot of people make a lot of money every month running OnlyFans pages where they essentially interact with their audience and you pay I think there's some free stuff, but then you pay a subscription to get access to, specific content. One of those things that you pay to get access to is where I think there is just an amazing business. So one of the things you pay to get access to is you get to message the creator. So there's a creator that's creating content and you pay $100 a month and you get one-on-one ability to message them. In practice, this is against OnlyFans terms of service, but in practice, a lot of these creators outsource that messaging to call centers, to other people that do that for them. So they might have 100, 200, 300, 400 subscribers that they need to send messages to. They're not doing that themselves. They're outsourcing that. And that is where I think you have got a huge business opportunity, because those messages are not easy to execute. So you've got to feel like you are talking to the creator. And if you Google this, there is a ton of articles where creators are moaning because they've got huge churn of their customer base because the people they've outsourced it to just don't sound authentic. So what I'm suggesting is an OnlyFans messaging outsourced call center, premium, high quality. So you get people in. So you go to the creator and you learn about them. You learn their shtick. You learn how they interact with their fans, and then you train people in your call center to interact with them in that way. So maybe the creator is like very vivacious, and you have that kind of vibe. Maybe they're very kind of, it's got some kind of gaming element to it, and they have that kind of vibe. But the point is that you've got a really nice CRM there. So the call person can see, oh, okay, I'm doing a message for this creator. This is their vibe, and they can really pull that off to a high level. And then you train those people to do that, because it's not easy. It requires a high level of skill to do that. So you can't just what happens at the moment is this gets outsourced to countries where English is like an additional language. It's super cheap, quality low. Let's do this onshore or somewhere where English is native, get really high quality. And this is basically like, where you'd see the ads in the back of a local newspaper where you could phone up these numbers and it's like £1 an hour. The people that were doing that, let's just repurpose those guys. That's obviously a dead industry. Let's repurpose them into messaging for OnlyFans. First question is to Meg. You may not have even watched this far because you put a bullet in this episode because you deem this.
Yes, exactly.
You deem this.
She's like Bangalore. She's got like grenades going over the top. This dog one is not open.
Yeah, she cut one of your stories out. You may have noticed recently. She felt it wasn't appropriate. She's cut two things of yours out recently.
Just absolute brutal.
I think what she's cut out of yours is probably more benign than this. But I do think, in its defense, I think it's a legitimate business opportunity that I think would work.
I mean, there's money to be made in industries that are, not something that you'd necessarily discuss with your grandparents around the dinner table on a Sunday. That I have no doubt that if you could find people who were willing to do this, and you could find a price point that actually generated enough, because I don't know what OnlyFans content creators make. I've got no idea what it is, and I don't know how much they'd be willing to pay for this service. But if you can offer scale, and that's ultimately it, right? Can you provide a service that can give these people scale where they can focus on what they're good at, I guess, which is the primary content? Then sure, there's going to be a secondary service there, isn't there?
And there's
how you build that. What's that company culture like? I don't know. Those company parties probably just like really on the edge of things, but yeah.
Look, we're not going to, in a million years, do this business. But I think somebody with the right skill set could do this. And this is how you get this business off the ground. So somebody has created this business I love this business. It's called Only Search. So within OnlyFans, you can't search. There's not a search function, right? Only Search, you can just go and you can just type in whatever, the name of a creator, particular type of content you want, whatever, and it will come up with all the creators. So you've got access to them. And that just gives you your list of potential buyers. So you can just go in and you can just be like, you can just be pitching and pitching and pitching this into the market.
Which means you've got your target audience straight away.
Target audience is there. The guy's done it. Only Search. That business is apparently, according to the My First Million podcast, that business absolutely kills it. Because he essentially sucked all the profiles in here, and I think he sells ads.
How? Yeah, I was going to say, what's his revenue stream?
He sells ads.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame, and I know I understand just on the last point before we kill this, or before Meg kills it in reality. It's a shame that it has to be so nuanced that you couldn't use generative AI, that it doesn't get smart enough that you could actually do something with ChatGPT, because then you've got massive scale. But I do understand the nuances of understanding words or depravity that people are going to be saying. It's not really going to work with AI, so you never know.
It's not going to work with AI yet, but actually...
Yeah.
if you're looking at, AI as a business and you want to spend time in it and you don't care about making the world a better place, building this AI tool would be, because it doesn't just work in OnlyFans. Like this, you could have your own. People could just subscribe to that tool to have a pretend partner. Like there is so many applications if you got that right. And the AI is not. It's not a million miles away from it. It tends to be better at short form messaging than it does at like long form detailed articles as well. So I would guess that some OnlyFans creators are already using some version of AI, and it's going to get more and more. So this is one of the rare occasions where I would probably want to start layering in some of your tech rather than just have an absolute boiler room call center somewhere. I'd start with the boiler room, but we can layer your tech in as well. Probably stop this conversation because it's never going to go to air, is it, Meg? Or is it?
I would call it Only You, and then I'd have that, that song, Only You, over the top of it, I think.
We need to start working out licensing for this stuff because I think you've got a lot of value with your songs.
I've just blown it.
You're going to get a letter now. Meg's going to get a letter from like some law firm demanding $5,000 for using their songs. So probably keep it under wraps.
Quite.
Okay.
Well, look, we'll go to... Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, Doug. Looking forward to setting up our OnlyFans call centre. It's going to be fun. Roll on 2024. Take care, mate. Cheers.